All right, shalom, shalom. Call Allah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Yahweh is the true name of God in the Hebrew tongue. Bahashem means in the name of, and Yahushai is the true name of the Son of the Most High, and Rakakwadash is the Holy Spirit. And double honors to the elders and the apostles of GMS, and shalom to the hopeful elect. We are the real true Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And of course, you may not look like the typical Israelite, but if this word resonates with you, then you're indeed an Israelite. So I'm back with another lesson, and this is the year. This is the year, Lord willing. All the prophecies be fulfilled, Lord willing. But a part of the prophecies being fulfilled is the CHIP, which we're gonna keep talking about it until it's fulfilled, man. But and I like making lessons like this concerning the economy and things like that, because this is what's gonna lead to the CHIP. And once the prophecies are fulfilled, that's when we can chill, man. Because that's the end goal. Jake wants to be in a righteous empire wherein dwelleth righteousness, no more wickedness. We're not. The scripture goes into how, and this is right here is just more proof that we're in captivity. The scripture goes into how in Haggai, the first chapter, verse 6. Okay, and this precept ties in with the lesson we're going to go into. So I'm going to just read the scripture. It reads, Haggai chapter 1, verse 6. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes. So the money that we earn, it literally just disappears, man. And that's how this empire is designed, to keep you oppressed. That's why we want a kingdom, a king going to a male ruler, and dom short for dominion. We can't wait for our dominion and our rulership where we don't have to suffer these things, where we're basically being robbed. But it ties in. And this right here, this article goes into Germany falling into a recession. But I've got another one here in the UK. And this one right here updated 18 minutes ago. So this is all live updates. With the Germany one, that was updated a couple of days ago. Well, sorry, yesterday, because we're in Friday 26th. So I'll read this to begin with. From CNN Business, okay, it reads, Germany falls into recession as consumers in Europe's biggest... I'm going to read that again. Germany falls into recession as consumers in Europe's biggest economy spend less. Yeah? So, right here it reads, Germany has slipped into recession as last year's energy price shock takes its toll on consumer spending. Output in Europe's largest economy dropped 0.3% in the first 3 months of the year, following a 0.5% contraction at the end of 2022, official data showed Thursday. The Federal Statistic Office downgraded its previous estimate of zero growth in gross domestic product compared with the previous quarter. A recession is defined as 2 consecutive quarters of declining outputs. The persistence of high price increases continue to be a burden on German economy at the start of the year, the office said. This is particularly reflected in household final consumption expenditure, which was down 1.2% in the first quarter of 2023. I'll read this part. Klaus Vestesen, chief Euro area economist at Pantheon Macroeconomics, said spending by consumers in the first quarter was crimped by the shock in energy prices. European energy prices were already rising, with the Russia situation last year sent them soaring to record highs. Moscow then went on to throttle gas supplies to European countries, prompting Germany to declare an emergency. So that's the German side. Now the UK side, it says UK will fall into recession following bond markets chaos, latest updates. Here reads, Britain will fall into recession by the end of this year or early next year. Barakati Haba Shimiao Shai. A top city investment chief has predicted following the bond market turmoil. Luke Hickmore, investment director at asset manager R.M. Aberdeen, said the real surprise of rising core inflation in British economy would force the Bank of England into action on interest rates. This in turn will lead to surging mortgage costs, which will put people's incomes under a lot of pressure, he warned. The prediction comes days after the IMF forecast that the UK will no longer suffer a recession this year. So, look at this. the prediction comes days after IMS forecast that the UK will no longer suffer recession. So they said they won't suffer recession, but now they said UK will fall into recession by the end of the year. And what does the scripture say about that? It says, when they shall say peace and safety. So we'll get to the point. This is verse 3. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. It reads, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So this economic news and the recessions is going to lead to the CHIP. It's going to lead to Jacob's trouble. It's going to lead to chaos, but it's also going to lead to the true men of the Lord being revealed and spiritual powers, and loads of believers as well. Because when people see the CHIP mandatory, best believe you're going to have, But yes, now I want to go into 2 Ezra chapter 9. Okay, verse 1 reads, so this is going into an angel who was speaking to Ezra and telling them about the prophetic things that will happen in the future. So 2 Ezra chapter 9 verse 1 reads, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, and these are things that we're seeing in the world. We've seen these earthquakes, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Turkey, and uproars of the people in the world. We saw that during COVID, but even before, there's been uproars and rebellions. So verse 4 says, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like all that is made in the world had the beginning and the end is manifest. So everything that we're seeing concerning this empire, we can see that the end is manifest. And I wanted to get the scripture as well. I always bring out the scripture whenever I go into the finances of things, because really and truly, the top level of wealth is having this truth, man. That's why the scripture in Proverbs 3 goes into it. So Proverbs chapter 3 verse 13 reads, happy is the man that findeth wisdom and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. She, referring to wisdom, is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her. Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. Her ways are ways of plenteousness, and her paths are paths of peace. Because remember, we brought out in the book of Haggai, the first chapter, how, in this empire, you earn money, but it's just going into a bag of holes. But with wisdom, with real riches and wealth, it reads in verse 17, her ways are ways of, plenteousness, pleasantness, and all her paths are path of peace. But a part of the pleasantness is being able to enjoy your riches and your wealth. So verse 18 says, she is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her, and happy is everyone that retaineth her. Because ultimately, when this empire collapses, those that had wisdom, you don't think they're going to rejoice. I can even end it off there. Shall rejoice with joy of heart. I wanted to get the one in Isaiah. Shall laugh, servant shall eat. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 20 reads, why can't I find the scripture? Vexation of spirit. And then put laugh. Damn, I can't find the scripture, man. Wow, this is just funny. Okay, so ye shall howl vexation of spirit, KJV. Isaiah 65:14. Where was I? Isaiah 65. Just bear with me. I'm nearly there. So, yep. I'm going to read Isaiah chapter 65, verse 13. It reads, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shai power. Behold, my servants, the Lord's servants are those who've been warning you of these things to happen. Behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart and shall howl for vexation of spirit. Imagine these people who are invested in this world and had all their savings. Of course you're going to howl when all your finances is collapsed and you ain't have no hope because you don't have no future other than this empire. But for those that wanted this place to fall, of course they're going to rejoice, as we're reading. So that's that on the affairs of this world. We're getting closer, man. And we just can't wait for all these to be fulfilled. So, with that, I hope it was an edifying lesson. Call Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Akakodash. Shalom.